For 7 years, I drove a Chevrolet Impala, a hand-me-down with 4 doors and windows so dark, a patrol car once pulled me over for illegal tint. The police officer let me go once he realized we both worked for the NYPD. The Impala was unmarked and came with my job. I was a special assistant in the NYPD press office, and part of my duties was responding to emergencies anywhere in the 5 boroughs the police, other city officials, and the media might descend. From the outside, the Impala could pass for any leftover on a used car lot. But inside, a toggle switch unleashed deafening sirens and blinding police lights, including a detachable red lantern over the front dash that was like arm wrestling for me to remove. The only thing subtle about the car was its paint, a metallic shade resembling the beach on an overcast day. When prompted to note the car's color in the police mechanics log, I decided to call it champagne. Champagne, the police mechanics chuckled. That's a first. But then again, so was I. A petite Asian woman is not exactly who comes to mind when one thinks of law enforcement. The unmarked Impala and I were unlikely partners. I had zero interest in driving and finding parking in New York City, but the car was non-negotiable. So eventually, Champagne and I flowed with the traffic on the FDR Drive and bridges. I'd marvel at the cityscape before winding around the Civic Center labyrinth, waving to guards at familiar checkpoints. Driving their car, I got to know the police. Once, rushing to a Brooklyn hospital where a wounded officer was being treated, I tried taking a side street and nearly hit a plainclothes detective, recognizing too late the yellow tape behind him. "Sorry," I cried, presenting my department ID as he turned from startled to very irritated. "I'm trying to get to Methodist. Do you know another way?" "Not this way," he scowled. "This is the crime scene." I reversed in an awkward 3-point turn and hesitated at the line of unmoving cars I had just tried to avoid. And then I heard, "You got lights and sirens, honey. Use them." So the next time I had to report to a hospital, I did. I broke up evening traffic on the Henry Hudson Parkway and was the first person from my office to arrive. But when I told the police commissioner about my newfound skill, he replied flatly, "Don't do that." He wanted me to be safe, and I remembered city employees were often criticized for abusing department vehicles. Another time, after a late-night fight with my then-boyfriend, I punched the steering wheel, somehow setting off the air horn in alarm mode. The air horn is the one that makes you jump back on the curb. It sounds like, "Eh, eh." Mine sounded like an angry donkey, something like, "Ah, ah, ah," on repeat, louder. It wouldn't stop unless the engine was running, but anytime I tried to turn the steering wheel, it triggered the sirens. Whoop, 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 whoop. It was a tough drive home. Once I parked, my attempts to silence the car proved futile, so my office called a precinct near me to help. And in the time it took me to lift my head from rummaging for the user manual, 3 patrol cars and a cop in a golf cart showed up. They thought they were responding to an officer in distress and got a damsel in the headlights. Something got lost in transmission, but they found the problem and restored the peace to Park Slope. After other malfunctions, I finally was assigned a new addition with upgraded lights and sirens that I could turn on and off with a touch of a button. The detective who delivered the car keys grinned at me. "The only thing that's the same is the color," he said. "I hear it's called champagne."